guys, I'm Cory Oliver. Thanks for watching the Coriolis Effect. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we hope you like this episode.
This episode is brought to you by Unidragon.com. Unidragon puzzles are great for the whole family to participate in because they are not only beautifully crafted, they are really a work of art. You can put this together and then literally hang it on your wall afterwards. And they have all these beautiful colors and shapes and animals, and you've got a great site to navigate through. The prices are fantastic. They're wooden puzzles, and they are very, very reasonably priced. So it's something that you can keep forever. You can give it to a gift. If you know somebody who loves lions, you can send them a lion and they can put it together, and it's like kind of a keepsake. It's a beautiful gift. Use promo code DRAGONA1 through July 31st and you will receive a 10% discount on any puzzle that you purchase. One of my favorite puzzles on the Unidragon.com is a world puzzle, and it's a mirrored glass, and it's just beautiful. I could see this piece of art in my house, like behind my couch or on a big giant wall. It's a beautiful puzzle. They're really well handcrafted. The Unidragon exclusive wood world map comes in sapele, oak, mirrored, and walnut, and they are just beautifully handcrafted. It is a work of art. It's magnificent. Please visit Unidragon.com and use the promo code DRAGONA1 and you will receive a 10% discount. And you could find maybe your favorite animal or your favorite shape and definitely give it as a gift. It's a great company.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Cory. How are you?
How are you?
I am well.
I can't.
Cut. Let's redo that. No, okay.
That's from Enchanted. It's not a very good.
That sounds just
I didn't warm up.
You have a very silent laugh. For those who are listening and can't see, Cory is laughing hysterically right now. Just no sounds coming out.
Sorry. I mean, I'm so sorry. I can't wink on this. I have a sty in it.
Oh, there's a mental image for the people listening on podcast.
Oh my gosh! I actually poked myself in the eye. I literally poked myself in the eye. So I have that going for me.
You should try not to do that.
I try. How are you? What's going on with you?
I'm very well. Nothing much. Got something to talk about after we announce our guest.
Oh gosh, you get kicked out of Target again.
No.
Third time's a charm.
The way my luck's going, I probably will be. No, I'll tell you a funny story, though, and she's going to get mad at me for saying this, though.
Oh, no. I take your side, Irene.
I taught my wife something very important last week, that when you use a clothes dryer, you have to clean the lint trap every time you use, the lint trap that pulls out.
Sure.
Well,
she didn't know?
No. Now, again, my wife came from Ukraine over here by herself, 10,000 miles, and, is a major in international economics and is just the smartest girl. But she just never did that because in her apartment where she used to live, they had a wash and dryer room downstairs that you never have to change a lint trap because somebody would do that.
Sure.
So it's not, she just didn't know. So I was away and I said, she said she was getting little bits of fuzz on the clothes. Oh. I said, well, did you clean the lint trap? And she said, what? I said, go to the dryer and said, the door opens and pull out the little thing, and she pulls it out. There was enough lint on there to make 2 sweaters.
Oh, wow.
But she had run the dryer probably about 10 or 15 times without cleaning it. And I said, look, first of all, it's a fire hazard. You have to clean it out or. But yeah, I said, that comes from all the clothing. But yeah, so we learned that.
That is cute. Irina, I love you. That's cute. Yeah. I always forget too, and I've been doing it forever. So I do forget myself. And then all of a sudden it's like, clean the lint, clean the lint. Yes. So, yeah, I get that.
So who's on the show today before we...
So today, actually, I'm very excited. We have my co-star, Dominique Pinassi, who also wrote the book Pignus, Tales from the Beverly Hills Pawn Shop. And she has a new site called sexy-metals.com.
Sexy-metals.com.
Yes, and honestly, she has an eclectic group of beautiful jewelry, and the site's up here, from collars, cuffs, rings, chains, earrings, tidbits, signed pieces, brooches and pins. She has everything, and it's really insanely priced.
Wow.
It's probably a third less than what it should be.
They call that priced to move.
It really is, and it's beautiful. And she has such a great soul and heart, and she's just, I haven't seen her in a long time.
All right.
Yeah, so.
It's going to be a little reunion, a little Beverly Hills Pawn reunion.
It will be a little Beverly Hills Pawn reunion. I believe she's bringing us some items.
Oh,
so
nice.
we'll be able to showcase some of them on the YouTube, if you're watching the new YouTube channel.
Just said it again.
On the YouTube.
The YouTube.
Okay. But, and we'll probably talk all things pawn, right? They used to call her Dom the Pawn.
Dom the Pawn?
Yeah, Dominique. Dom the Pawn. She's very smart, very knowledgeable. She went to UCLA. She's a Bruin. And
Sorry, our USC fans.
yes. Oh, ooh.
Big
Them
rivalry.
is fighting words, I tell you. Woo! So I'm excited to have her here today.
Okay.
Tell me your story, because I know there's something brewing.
Well, the one thing that it's driving me nuts is they're trying to pass this HR bill, H1 bill, HR House Resolution 1, HR 1 bill. And basically they're trying to redo all of the election rules. And I get why they're doing it. They're doing it so they can stay in power. They're doing it so more people will vote Democratic. I understand that. The problem is the comments they make. I always hated when people treated me like I'm stupid or said something where I knew they thought I was stupid. So they're coming out now and saying you cannot have any kind of identification or voter identification at voting. And I get why, but what they're saying is because we believe that to be racist. And the reason we believe it is because we believe the minorities don't have IDs and therefore you can't force them to have IDs. You're trying to make blacks and Hispanics and people of the minorities not vote because these people live their whole lives without IDs. And if you watch Candace Owens, she's going nuts on it saying, wait a minute, I'm of that race and everybody I know has an ID. It's not hard to get an ID. You can, as an illegal alien in the United States, you can go to a DMV and they will give you a California ID.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, and then they started thinking, and I was watching a couple other shows, and I started thinking, wait a minute. You need an ID to get on a plane. You need an ID to buy alcohol. You need an ID to rent a car. You need an ID to, do half the things in life in this country. So are they saying, and they're saying, well, minorities or very poor people are not going on airplanes. Fine. They're going to the liquor store, right? Everybody over 21 has to show an ID. You got to buy cigarettes. You need an ID.
Well, do you want to know my opinion?
Yes, I want to know your
opinion. And mine's just my opinion.
Yes.
But I've sat back over the last year and I've watched, we all have, we've been inundated with this video and that video, and they circulate, and this person sends it to you and that person sends it to you. And then all the while, we were supposed to flatten the curve. And now, not just that, potentially getting passed, but they did pass that all the foreclosures will go to the state first. They will get first right of refusal, all of the loans that are being foreclosed. And if you can't see that this was a greater plan, an agenda, if you will, I'm not saying anything anybody else isn't talking about, and I'll probably get slapped with a conspiracy theorist, etc.
Yeah,
but if you look at the data that's being presented to all of us, some people choose to look at it, some people just choose to ignore it and think that it's, but it does suggest that there's just a greater plan. And I know there's a greater plan and purpose, right? But you can't weaken a society. Tell them that, just put the mask on for 2 weeks. And, all the voting fraud, there's just so much going on right now. And what do you believe? What do you believe?
And that's my problem, because I've gotten to the point now where I do not believe anything they say.
Right. Well, that's where they want you.
Yeah, but, okay, so with the thing of voter fraud, there's no doubt that some voter fraud happened. It happens at every election. And
to this magnitude?
Well, the question in this was the voter fraud enough to have changed the election? I have my own personal beliefs. I think, I don't know for a fact, but I think it's not unreasonable for that to have happened. Mm-hmm. Okay. But you have some people, a lot of the media said there was zero voter fraud. You can't say something so stupid. There's been voter fraud in every election, everywhere. The old Chicago adage, vote early and vote often, all the time. So there's no doubt that we found ballots from people who've been dead for 2 years. So to say there was zero is going too far. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, now I don't believe anything you say. Mm-hmm. If they'd have come out and said, well, We're sure there was a normal amount of voter fraud, which you can't stop. There's 300 million people in the country, 200 million are voting. We can't stop that. But it wasn't anywhere near enough to change the election. Fine. They come out and they just boldly say things which are so blatantly untrue. And they look at you with a straight face.
I just want to see people think for themselves. I don't want to turn on the news and have someone think for me. I don't want them to tell me something when it's really not. I think it's important that we get back to thinking for ourselves and making a educated decision based on actual, information and knowledge instead of just really being sheeple and saying, oh my gosh, they say that we still have to wear, we're over a year and a half into this wearing masks still. I'm very careful. I'm a germaphobe, so I'm telling you right now.
Well, it's been a year, not a year and a half. You're the fact check on that one alone, but.
All right.
Oh, by the way,
it feels like a year and a half. Sorry.
With fact checking, I had a professor in law school who said, "You're not a real lawyer until you've been threatened with contempt by a judge." He said, okay. So I think we're not a real podcast until we get fact checked, and then we can raise our banner high and say, just like we're doing something right. It's the old adage that said, if they're not complaining, you're not doing something right. If the other guy's not mad at you, you're not doing what you should do.
Well, these are just my opinions.
Right.
It's based on what I've seen and what I've been through, and I'm not, I'm curious. Where does this end? So many people are about to lose their homes. Where does this end? And then I say, well, you're going to lose your home to the government.
Yeah.
Because they're first in line to get it.
Right.
That's a new law that was just passed. So fact check that.
Yeah.
It's true. And so that's dirty to me. That's like, your best friend coming in and saying, oh, you're going to lose, I'm going to win on your loss.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And that's that. And by the way, I set it all up so that happened. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
And that's why I said it's impossible to believe anything they say. And my comment is, if I'm looking at the clock and it says 12 and the media or the government says it's noon, I wouldn't believe them. Mm-hmm. Even though I could see it for myself. Just anything they say, I immediately distrust them because of the number of times they have blatantly lied. And I don't mean they said something which was an opinion or they said something which turned not to be true. I mean things they said where they knew it at the time it was a lie and they said it anyway. And there are just too many things to talk about.
There are not enough ways to make a change right now. You used to get a group of people that would stand on a street corner and protest and have signs and, you'd make a change. They'd make a change.
Right.
And that kind of just happened in the beginning of COVID and, in some ways and forms. And it was just kind of like people drove by, ish. We're all really preoccupied. And how do you make a change? I think there's just a plan that's going to happen. And, I'm going to say it. Honestly, this is the relationship that matters.
Yeah.
You and God, and get right with that, and that's really in the end,
Well, what I want to do is, if I ever get to a point where I can talk to these people, I want to get people like Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Hannity, get them in a room and say, okay, we know what's going on, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the word out there to people to say, look, this is what the other side's doing. It's not right, but these guys are the major people in front of 10 and 50 million people. It's not working. So the people that you don't have to convince the people who listen to you because they are obviously believe it.
It's not working.
But somehow we can't go to the other people and say, take a step back and tell me how you don't see. They complain so much when they see kids in a detention facility or in what they call a cage with Trump, and then they see 50 times that amount with Biden. And they say, oh, that's totally different. How do the people who look at those two things say, oh, yeah, I believe it's totally different? I just don't get it. They are so, and you're right, sheeple's the word. They just believe whatever they're told. They don't question it. And, look at Jefferson, who said we were supposed to question authority. And he said it's our duty to revolt, but those were the days where, there were 5 million, 10 million people in the country and a revolt wasn't a big deal. But it's your duty to question what's going on. And if the government is correct in what they're saying, the response should not be, shut up, you're a racist, we don't want to hear from you. It should be, this is why we're doing it, this is why it makes sense. I've had a lot of people work for me over the years, and anytime I would explain to somebody or tell somebody what to do, and they'd say why, I would sit down and explain it to them why I want it done this way. Mm-hmm. So they knew what they were doing, and it made sense to them, and they wouldn't go, I'm just not going to do it because it doesn't make sense to me. No, explain to us why you're doing this. in terms that make sense. And if we have a question where you say voter identification is racist, when I say, wait a minute, you want to open a bank account, you want to cash a check, you need an ID. If that's the correct, and the interesting is, if the issue is that these people don't have IDs, then let's have a national program to get everybody in the country an ID. And within 6 months,
Oh, they're doing that. It's called a vaccination.
Well, yeah.
They're going to get all your info.
Yeah.
You're
By the way,
sign your life away and you're going to get vaccinated
that's
at the
a
same
good
time.
point. They're saying
digress.
these people don't have IDs, and therefore we should not ask for IDs to vote. They're also saying that everybody should be vaccinated. And now they're saying, well, we should come up with a vaccinated passport so we know who's vaccinated. Well, wait a minute. A passport is a government ID. So you're just saying that half the people don't have IDs, yet the only way to cure the disease is get everybody inoculated and give them a passport. What they say, they talk out of both sides of their mouth, and it makes no sense. But they do it with a straight face.
And yet it's all being implemented.
Yes.
So,
you know why? Because we've gotten to the point in our country where, and this has happened in the last 10 years, they're putting bills before Congress, thousands of pages, giving them a day to sign it. And they have Pelosi has blatantly said a dozen times, sign it now, you'll read it later.
I've actually read 1,098 pages of the health care bill.
Have you?
I believe that it's on page 1004. You might want to check it.
But there is a mandate portion of it that speaks to getting chipped, RFID chip, on page 1004.
Really?
Yes. And it's really the primary reason why they tried to remove the mandate part of it, because of this chip and various other things. I believe they talk about how the government will have the right to choose whether you live or die at age 72. You get a terminal illness, your life is in their hands. They choose whether you get, the care, the
right.
treatment, etc. And that's like, I've said this before, that's like buying me a house that I can't afford, handing me the keys and the payment and all that comes with it, and saying, you can't give somebody something like that, and you're taking away our freedoms and our civil liberties and our rights.
By the way, that's what caused the 2008 crash for the real estate industry, because for 10 years prior, they were giving loans to anybody and everybody without verification of income, and these people couldn't afford it.
Interest-only loans.
Right.
They thought it was a great deal.
Yeah.
We can live for 10 years, 20 years on just paying the minimum, and there's always a price to pay. And so, I found it offensive that somebody,
Nancy Pelosi,
would put my life and in the hands and say, just we'll pass it and then we'll read it later.
Yeah.
That just was irresponsible, in my opinion. I wouldn't.
But
do
she
that
said
to
it multiple
somebody.
times.
Right, and I read it. That's why I didn't read the whole thing. However, there was like 2,900 and something pages, and then after it passed, there was another 20,000 pages.
That were added later?
Yes. Either added later or they already knew about them. And so, again, we don't know this because life is moving at a fast pace. You get an iPhone 12, and in 8 months you get another iPhone 13.
Right.
And this one already works still. So we're all caught up in all this.
Yeah, but you know my theory.
No.
When they put out the iPhone 12s, there's a big switch at the bottom of
course.
Apple, and they
Of
turn that
course.
switch, and the iPhone's 11 don't work anymore.
Of course.
So.
Yes. So it's
Oh, and
just...
by the way, that is true. It's not that there's a physical button, but what they're doing is they're making the operating system so big that
Yes.
it no longer, the 11 can't keep up with it.
Right.
And you're right. It's planned obsolescence.
It's our next word of the day.
Planned obsolescence, yeah.
Anyway, I could go on and on about this. And I know not everyone's going to agree with me, and I don't expect them to. That's why we started this show.
Right.
So we could have a healthy discussion. And again, part as ways and understand. I respect your views. I might not necessarily agree with them, but I respect you, and I still love you at the end of the day.
We want to be like Ben Shapiro says, if you disagree with us, you go to the front of the line, we talk to you first.
Yes.
And let's do that.
I would love that. I would love that.
Okay. All right, so Dominique
Pawn. Dominique Pawn. Dominique Pinassi. Yes, she's coming up next to talk about her
sexy-metals.com site.
I'm so excited for
it's
her.
going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right, see you soon.
Okay.
So really excited about my friend Dominique Pinassi's new sexymetals.com site. She was my co-star in Beverly Hills Pawn, and we worked alongside each other for 3 years, and I'm just so proud of her. She has a new site called sexy-metals.com. It is a unique estate treasures in gold, platinum, silver, diamond, and gemstone. She has a promo code
Cory10.
That's Cory10. Cory10 is the promo code for sexymetals.com, sexy-metals.com, and you will receive a discount. She has everything from engagement rings to mini gold hoops to
Cartier. She has estate jewelry. She has memorabilia. I mean, there's just cuffs and chains and earrings and signed pieces, brooches and pins, sterling, charms, necklace and pendants. She's got collars.
She just has a ton of beautiful items that come with a story. Most of them come with a story. Look at that Tiffany hammered sterling pendant. Wow, that was beautiful. And they're really reasonably priced. That was like $400 for anything Tiffany for $400 is a great price. And she has a lot of vintage things on her site, and it's just easy to navigate and it's beautifully designed. So I encourage you to just stop by and see if you could find something for your loved one. It's very reasonable. She has high ticket items and affordable prices. It is sexy-metals.com. I might have to get that little pearl crown charm pendant.
Let's start the show.
Thank you. Let's start the show. And today I'm actually giddy. I have my dear friend and my co-star and my comrade here from my Beverly Hills Pawn days, Dominique Pinassi.
Hello.
Dominique, it's like I wore my dress not only for you, we're giving it away today. At some point on the show, I'll say a code word and we're going to end up giving this dress away. And I should have told you to wear your dress. Life happened and I didn't. Bob told me to. I'll say that. But you look fantastic and it just feels like we're back in the saddle here.
I was going to say, she looks a lot like that girl in the poster.
I know, you're in the poster right here next to me, and
Didn't get my gun.
I will say we had some really good days and good times on that show, and we'll talk a lot about that.
Okay.
You are here today. You have many things going on in your life. You wrote a book called Pignus, Tales from a Beverly Hills Pawn Shop. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about that and a couple of the stories in there.
Okay.
And you brought some gems today. You have a new online site called sexymetals.com.
Important to put the dash between sexy and metals.
So sexy-metals.com.
Sexy-metals.com.
And I've actually been on the site several times now because I'm like, wait, what do I want? I mean, there's so many wonderful items, but there's a story behind all of them.
That's true. That's true.
And your website looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much.
And things are really, really
reasonable.
Priced fairly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh, more than fairly. Because I actually happen to know what some of those items were years ago. So
right.
You are very kind. And
What's
it's beautiful.
The benefit of no brick and mortar store?
Right.
You know, my store launches from my comforter sometimes, or from my
Right.
patio or my porch, or who knows where I'm clicking away at, and people get to save that.
And I don't know how the stores and the mall stay in business. I don't know how brick and mortar stores stay.
I don't either.
I don't know. Well, sexy-metals.com is Dominique Pinassi's
That's me.
new venture, which I love. But before we get into all of that,
Okay.
My dear producer, Bob, has a word of the day.
You remembered.
I did, because
20
you're
some
sitting here
episodes
staring
in,
at
you
me going, I
remembered.
wonder when she's going to know the word of the day. I wonder when.
Word of the day. I love that.
We have a word of the day. It is a fear.
Okay.
And you have to get. Corey doesn't know what it is either.
It's a phobia.
It is a
sometimes?
phobia.
Okay.
Phobia.
So something phobia.
Cosmemophobia.
I'll try it again.
Cosmemophobia.
Cosmemophobia. K-O-S-M-E-M-O phobia. Cosmemophobia.
K-O-S-M-E.
M-O-phobia. I will tell you that neither you nor Corey have this phobia. Most women do not have this phobia.
So it's not a fear of shopping or eating chocolate. We know it's not that.
Oh, my
Well,
goodness.
geez, I was an English major at UCLA. This should be a no-brainer for me, but you got me stumped. K is kind of throwing me off. If it was a C, I would say it's a fear of the universe or faraway places or the, space.
By the way, did I mention that Dominique's really smart?
Yes.
I know.
But what's with the K? That's
You seem very intelligent, but you could not be further away from what this phobia is. You, in particular, Dominique, should know this word.
ooh, me in particular.
Yes.
I started
Fear of fire.
Close. Think
Ooh.
of a different profession. I don't know.
Police.
Maybe a profession that
Construction.
Dominique does.
Construction.
Maybe Dominique's profession.
jewelry.
Jewelry.
It is the fear of jewelry.
It is not.
It is too.
That's blasphemy. Who could ever be afraid of jewelry? That should be illegal.
He always tries to find one that is like with the guest coming on. So that is a good one.
That's a really good one. I'm going to, log
I don't
that
even
in there.
remember what it was.
Is cosmophobia.
Okay. Exactly.
Cosmemophobia. What you should do
Cosmemophobia.
is you should on your website have cosmemophobia, big circle with a line through it.
I don't have it. I'm going to get the shirt. I'm going to make the shirt.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cute.
That's amazing.
good, yeah.
Yeah, I was starting to go Greek with it, with the K. I thought there's something.
Aren't they all Latin though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume
think
so. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully no one has it.
Yes.
That's what
Well,
we'll pray.
Dominique is here today, and she is my lovely co-star of Beverly Hills Pawn,
Thank you for
which
having me.
we. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I can't believe it took us this long to get together, and in
I
this,
know.
obviously we've had COVID and all of that, but I am so grateful to see your beautiful face and
Likewise.
your sweet spirit, and
thank
we had
you.
some really good times on that
And you
show.
go shopping on the desk with all the.
I'm going to go shopping today, and for those of you who are just listening to the
Dominique
podcast,
brought the store with her.
I encourage you to tune in on the YouTube because you will see some beautiful gems and the stories
Did you just call
behind
it
them.
the YouTube?
I don't know. Did I?
Yeah.
I said the YouTube.
Turn on the YouTube.
Turn on the YouTube. Turn on the YouTube. But
Should I crank it up like
Yes.
this?
well, one of the things that was really fascinating for me working on the show is that we got to see and hear a lot of stories. I mean, I found myself in Zsa Zsa Gabor's living room selling,
Right.
Elvis's piano.
Right.
But one of the things that people don't know is that honestly, 99.9% of the time, the producers would go to Dominique for the information. Yes. She knew it all. I would say 100% of the time.
Oh,
She
that's-
knew it all.
So you were into jewelry before the show.
Well, I was born into it.
Okay.
I mean, from the time I was 5, I was digging through my mom's costume jewelry, and I was going to garage sales and playing dress up with the jewelry, not the clothes as much as the jewelry.
And then at 7, you open your own store.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we had a big vault. Yossi in the store had a big vault.
Huge
and
walk-in.
And Dominique knew what was where, what the story behind it, how much it cost, the weight of it. I mean, the producer would say, "Do we know how much this weighs?" And Dominique would be like, "Oh, that's da 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 da" from the back room. And I was always so impressed with your knowledge and the ability to
thank
just
you.
recall it from like it was an archive. Your brain's an archive.
This stuff talks to me. It really
I know.
it does. Every piece has a story, but I believe that metal conducts energy, and that energy stays with the piece. And I will sometimes touch a piece and say, "Ooh, I don't like this vibe," and I don't care how good a deal it is, I won't buy it. So I pay respect to that history and the memory of that piece and the person that goes with it. I mean, we'd have people coming into the store, and they'd hand me a piece of jewelry, and I would look at them and say, "This isn't yours," and they would say, "No," and I swear I'm not a witch.
I watched it. I was there.
And I would say, "Is this your aunt's?" And I don't know where it would come from. And they'd look at me and they'd go, "Yes, how do you know that?" And then I would
Read
say,
the script.
Does your aunt bake pie? And I would see sometimes, because
That's
I
amazing.
swear to you, it captures it.
Well, a lot of people, some of my friends will go, they don't want their husbands to get them pieces because they feel the same way. They want to be able to connect with the piece. It's kind of like going,
energy.
having somebody else go get your wedding dress.
Right.
You have to say yes to the dress. You have to feel it when you put it on.
Right.
And
So
that's
it's like the first
jewelry.
one says no, and you give the ring to the second one. It's
Okay.
a big no-no.
Oh, it's a major
big
no-no.
no-no, yeah.
Ooh, I could feel the hair on the back of my neck go, ah.
See, every woman's going, absolutely, I would kill him. Every guy's going, well, what do I do with the first one? So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come
well,
see me.
come see Dominique. Yeah, Dominique has
Well,
beautiful
no, I'll tell you
jewelry.
the trick. I've been married twice. Both times, I took my intended down, and she picked out her own ring. Because I knew if I picked it out, they weren't going to like it.
You're a
And
smart man.
Irina came down, picked out a ring. We met a nice jeweler down at Jewelry Mart. She made us baklava. It was there. And, oh my God, we were there for like 4 hours, and Irina got the ring that she wanted. Both rings, the
That's
wedding
what
ring and the engagement ring.
cosmemophobia is. Fear of baklava. That's
Yeah,
what I
so
thought
yeah.
it was going to be.
Well, a lot of people ask me all the time, like, were you close with your co-stars, and were you, what was that like? And, we loved each other. We had a respect for each other.
For sure.
It was hard getting off the ground because everybody was trying to find their footing, but we all respected one another and how hard we worked. We worked hard,
We worked very hard.
long hours and hard. But
Oh,
I will
yeah.
say this, and I'm not just saying this because you're sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
You worked the hardest.
Oh, well, I was holding a full-time job
I know.
during filming.
I know.
What
So
were you
if-
doing?
She worked there at the store.
Oh, at the store. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would show up at 7:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
be in hair and makeup in the trailer in the alley, have to open the store by 9:15, and that meant turning off the alarm, unlocking the vault, carrying 10, 15 boxes, that weighed a ton of jewelry, setting it all up. I might have had straight hair on this side and crazy hair on this side.
Yeah.
And then my boss would show up and start calling me. And that was before filming even started. So it was very frenetic.
I know, and I just want to recognize that for you. I know I've
appreciate
said that to you a million
Thank
times,
you.
but
Thank
you know, you always handled things with grace and style, and
you.
you did. I would be like, "How is she?" There's 17 people calling for her, and she would just be like, "Oh yes, okay, okay, no
Hello,
problem. I got
Piso.
that."
Yes, Piso.
Yeah.
Now I have a question the whole world wants to know. So you're in the store and people would come in with their whatever.
Yeah.
Before they come in, do you know who's coming in and what they have?
No.
Do the producers know who's coming in and what they have?
On certain occasions, I would say yes, the producers would know. Sometimes I would be aware that someone was coming with something, but it all just kind of evolved.
Okay.
It just kind of was organic and menu, as best as it could be. You have to do a certain amount of scheduling because you can't have lights and cameras and crew
Right.
and wait and say, is someone walking in right now? So they had to schedule a certain, amount of people.
Okay,
to
so the
come
people
certain time.
coming in, not that it was a setup, but that you knew that somebody was coming in.
Yes, and I'll tell you on that note, if we want to get real about it.
Yeah, get real.
Yeah, okay. My part of my agony with it was some of those people would come in with really fun stories, like they want to buy a $25,000 necklace for their dog, like your little puppy running around here. Great story, it makes for great TV. But my customers that come in with their life savings, which might be this $800 necklace, and they might be coming in for a $100 loan, and it means the world to them. They might not have felt that they belonged there when they see a dog getting a diamond necklace. And that was hard for me because I never wanted those customers to feel alienated. And that was a big concern.
That's one of the things I love about her. She has a giant heart. You really do.
I love my peeps. I learn most everything I know from my clients. They teach me everything.
And there were people that were really, being part of the store was not just, the Dina collection. There was a pawn shop part of it, high end.
And that's where my heart was. My heart was always with the
pawn.
pawn, which is what Pignus means. It means pawn in Latin. So that's where my heart goes, the pawn business.
And Pignus is, I said Pingus because I got it, it's Pignus.
Dingus.
Is your book that you wrote, and I want to
Yes.
talk a little bit about that because there's stories in here. I mean, Dominique, you have seen
I've seen a lot.
you've seen a lot and beyond. And one of the things that I do love is that I'm sure you were very careful in this, but you kept a lot of people's confidentiality.
Yes, most definitely.
You were very cautious about that because I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I was there one day, and I'll tell this little story, and then we'll get into this book
Yeah.
because I almost lost it.
Oh, I'm curious.
Well, you were there. I think you
Oh.
took the picture. Well, I have two stories, but one of them was one of my childhood favorites was Warren Beatty,
Oh, yeah, sure.
and he came in the back door to buy a necklace for his wife, who was so sweet. He wanted a special, beautiful dove necklace. I think I can say
Swans.
this, right? Swans,
Swans.
which was very sweet.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my gosh, our eyes are going to meet, and he's not even going to want to buy her a necklace. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I would never do that. But he was. He was in Splendor in the Grass. I watched that movie over
He's
and
so
over.
elegant.
Oh, he's
Heaven and
so.
Wait.
And he just looked at me like, oh, because I couldn't get the words out. I was like, I got. And I remember you just kind of looking at me going, okay, let's carry on.
We just talked about that last show.
Well, you know what happened? The producers came to me and they said, hey, do you think you can get him to be on the show? I said, I don't. He's a very private person, very private. So I said, I'll ask. So I went to him and I said, Mr. Beatty, I call him that. And I was like, do you think you'd be on the show? He said, no. I said, do you think if I can quote a line from one of your movies that you'll be on the show? And he went, maybe. What you got? And I said, you're just some good-looking, smooth-talking, fuck-happy fellow with nothing to offer but a lot of dialogue. Dialogue is cheap in Hollywood, Ben, so why don't you go outside and jerk yourself a soda? And he looked like you.
I mean, that's like a dialogue.
Bugsy's my movie. Bugsy's my
Bugs is a
movie.
Great movie. Yeah.
Right? So he was like, and I go, huh? And he goes, no.
I didn't know this story.
Right, that was happening down in the. You were probably just in a catatonic shock
Yes, I was.
state
Thank
because it
you.
was happening at that moment with you looking gorgeous standing there, and maybe that's what distracted him. I'm like, blah, 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 and he's like, look at Cory, and then he was like, I'm leaving.
I love you, but that's amazing. I did not know. See, it just continues. There are stories after stories
Stories on
after
stories.
stories. I
Yeah,
mean, we would just.
True.
Your days were so busy.
I know.
So busy.
My favorite was we went to New York for a trip.
Yes, we did.
And we were about to go out and be on some red carpet or something. And, you know, you and Aria knew more about this kind of stuff than me. I learned a lot from them. They're like, don't put your arms to your side, put your arms out, you know, cover your waist, you know, this kind of stuff. Great little tricks that helped me a lot. Oh. And Cory saw me and she goes, are you going out like that? And I'm like, yes. She goes, just come in the bathroom for a second. I'm like, okay. I swear she was like Edward Scissorhands with brushes. I came out going, hot dang, that's not bad.
I had your back.
She had my back big time. She did some stuff to my face.
Is that what you're wearing? A moment?
I didn't say it like that. I think I said it more because, you know what, she's my...
is that how you're going out in public?
Yeah. Well, you know what? You got to have a girlfriend's back.
Yes.
And I knew they were going to be... It was the Reels upfronts. And the upfronts was where all the new shows are released. And so I knew there was going to be a lot of cameras and a lot of pictures, and I wanted you to be happy with them.
That was really cool.
And you looked really beautiful.
Cool. And that picture is in our house with you, me, and Aria. And that dress, that vintage dress I had on, and I was, look at my makeup. It looks so good.
Yeah, see? Well, you know what? It's the behind the scenes that people know about, but you have to stick together.
You do, and I was going to bring my sisters today, too. I thought maybe she'll take a little off.
I so would if I didn't have someone after, but we'll get together again.
David got to it. He took about 4 inches off, but it was
your boyfriend.
Yes.
The fireman.
The fireman.
Cut your hair.
Cut my hair.
I love that.
He did.
I love David. He's so sweet. Okay, so let's get to the book, and then we're going to get to the sexy medals because we have so many items here that I would love to show, and I would love to know the stories behind them too. So Pignus is your book, and I have a little mark here because I wrote a screenplay about Tourette syndrome.
Oh.
And I love, Tourette's. Yes. And there's a story in here called Tourette's Guy, and I just want you, we'll just go with one story because this book is called Pignus. And it's Tales from a Beverly Hills Pawn Shop, and it's by Dominique Pinassi, and it's a great book. But tell us that story about Tourette's Guy. I'm fascinated with the disorder.
Tourette's Guy was one of the most handsome guys that ever came into the store, and I'll never forget his deep blue eyes. He was really good looking, and we start to assess people from the moment we see them. We start doing that sort of scan, like Predator in that movie. It's like. And so he comes in. I said, this guy's going to be a lawyer. He's going to be a businessman. He's going to be a CPA. He's either buying something expensive or selling something valuable, okay? He sits down, and sure enough, he opens up this thing, gold coins, big jewelry. And I knew when I saw the jewelry, again, it wasn't his because it was big 70s stuff. So I'm reading that, trying to figure it out. And he says, yeah, I want to sell this, this stuff. And he starts cursing me out almost immediately. And I was like, what is going on? Okay, I didn't hear that. And we just continue. Did you read about the girl behind me? We had a new girl behind us, and she was very much so into her hair and makeup, and she was back there doing her makeup, and she was freaking out. I saw tissues with her face imprinted in them, like flying around like Broomhilda. She was fled. There was, mascaras and shadows and lipstick. She's like, I'm getting out of here because this guy tore me up. And I looked at him very calmly, and I said, look, I'm Italian. I'm from California.
Is that all you got?
Yeah. That's all you want to bring it on. I was like, what's going on? I said, I'm going to help you, but you cannot talk to me like that. And he says, oh, I'm sorry, really sorry. I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean it. I mean it. I'm like, okay, I forgive. He goes, you effing thing. And I'm like, we're back to this again. So at that point, I studied psychology in school, and I said to myself, oh, this is not normal. This is something unusual. This is something he can't help. So we worked through it, and this girl ran back to get security. And I said, no need. It's fine. He's just doing his thing. We'll be fine. And in the end, he finally said it. And then in the end, he finally asked me out on a date. Yeah, it was really
Did you go?
Funny. No, I didn't go because he has a girlfriend. He has a girlfriend.
So he's creepy Tourette's.
I know.
No, just doing the guy thing.
Daniel Tosh does a great joke. There's never a good case of Tourette's. It's never like, what? Nice dress. Or, you look pretty. It's always a curse word. It's always something bad, yeah.
Is that so? I mean,
Yeah, well, there was the Bob Saget guy.
Uh-huh.
Right, that was it. But normally, Tourette's is a curse word or a foul word.
Well, actually, I'll tell you to that because I researched the disorder for many, 16 years before I wrote my screenplay. And there's something called echolalia and caprolalia. And one is...
word of the day. Yeah.
One is, they have involuntary muscle movement. Mm-hmm. So they can't stop themselves from, swearing. Mm-hmm. And then there is another who that is your arm might fly, your head might tick. Mm-hmm. And some people have both, but there are people that don't necessarily have.
He just had the language.
Right.
So he presented extremely handsome and somebody you would want to engage with.
Right.
And then you're a little off put. And then you say, okay, I can deal with that. But then the whole girlfriend thing, that was definitely a wrench.
And
wrench in it.
did you buy any of his jewelry?
I did.
Ah,
Yeah, bought all of it.
Everything actually kind of had. I'm giving all the fun facts today because I got to work with Dominique for 3 years, and everything had to go through Dominique. Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
You're the
he
gatekeeper?
was the boss, but
Dominique was in charge?
he respects her and respected her so much, and so it was really really nice to see because on his hard exterior, a lot of people don't know this about him. On his hard exterior, there's
Jelly
a soft
inside.
little jelly man inside.
Gooey jelly inside.
Yes, and I got to see that. 13 episodes in.
And the fans loved him.
Oh yeah, he was hilarious.
Loved him.
And 9 times out of 10, we were like, "Wait, what? What'd you just say?" Just subtitle it. Subtitle it.
My favorite was she would go up to him and pluck a hair from his nose, like literally, like just in the
Oh,
middle
my
of a
God.
scene, she would just go.
Well, you
And
had
he-
one again. I had his back.
You
or
had
his
his back.
front. I mean, on camera, you got a
That's
hair
really
coming.
painful.
He let me.
Oh, he would say,
Alright.
"Thank you, darling.
Yes, he would. Yes,
the
he
tears
would.
goes down as a.
Please, may I have another?" It got a little weird. Then she said, "Okay, that's enough."
Yeah. I have a paddle in the back if you want.
Well,
Right.
and we had to we got to come up with a lot of fun little stories on that show.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
And that was for me. I was an actress going into this other world, the reality world, but there were so many divine appointments. And I remember one, and I'll tell this, and I think you kind of do too.
Okay.
There was a guy that came in, and he was suicidal.
Oh yeah.
And he basically, in between takes, he said, "I'm going to kill myself today." And I was like, "Lord, I don't know how to deal with this. I'm used to helping people with marriages, not like this is heavy for me." I was literally like, "Ugh." And long story short, I took him in the back with
Just prayed.
and we prayed with the girl Elsa,
Yeah.
and he left that day and called the next day. He didn't even know my name.
No, he said,
and
"Where's
it-
that girl?"
Where's that girl, right? But God was faithful and good, and it was just for me. Those moments meant so much to me on the show. There
you
were
were
a lot of
meant
them.
to be there. You were meant to be there in that right moment, in that right time, to give that gift.
And there's a lot of those moments for all of us with people that would come in and scenes, and you have tons of stories that go beyond that show.
Because it's a real life business. There's so much psychology to the pawn business because people are coming in with the same hurts and joys that we have. Whether you're working there or you're a customer spending a lot of money, we all have good days, bad days, health issues, marital issues, new ventures. So it's like this for them, and we all bonded and shared those stories.
Yeah.
A lot of those customers knew my life just as much as I knew theirs.
Yeah, you were friends with them. You helped them so much.
I missed them. I miss COVID. Really was like ripping a Band-Aid. I lost a lot of people in my everyday circle, and it's painful.
So once COVID hit, the store just shut down. Wow.
Shut down.
Has it reopened or?
Hasn't reopened.
No, which leads us to, I know there's a lot of stories in this, the book Pignus, and I encourage you, if you're listening, to get a copy of it because they're great. They're great stories, and they're real things that happened.
Oh yeah, all true stories.
All true stories, yeah.
It was cathartic for me. I had to write it.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, she's a great writer. I'm sure you can see that, but she's an excellent writer. You should write more.
Thank you.
But so to the point of transitioning into your new venture.
Okay.
Well, hang on. Before we get to new venture, I have a question.
Oh, please.
So, in a pawn shop, if I come to you and pawn an item,
Right.
I have how long to pick it up before you can sell it?
4 months and 10 days.
Is it really? Okay. And if I don't pick it up after 4 months and 10 days, can I come back in 6 months and still get it back, or then I have to buy it back as if I'm a customer?
4 months and 10 days, you have to pay the interest. So you pay the VIG.
Right.
If you pay that, you buy another 4 months and 10 days.
Okay.
If you miss it and we foreclose and we have possession of it, then it's, do we still have it? If we're still in the store, then you can buy it back, and then it's up to the boss's discretion as to how much to sell
buy
it
it back,
back
okay.
to for.
So it's not like 30 days. You get 4 months to buy it back.
4 months. Yeah.
And do you have if an item's worth $1,000, you have it, we'll give you 30%, 50%. Is it a set value, or you make it up as you go along?
That's a really good. People always want to know that. It depends. If it's something like solid gold, we might loan you up to 70% of that because we know that value is going to be there. Although the gold market fluctuates, so it's a little bit of a gamble. If it's a 19th century genuine Cartier diamond piece, we might lend you 100% of the value because we want it in our wheelhouse. If it's something that you can buy downtown by the dozens, we might only give you 30%.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it varies on the item.
Okay, so yeah.
And the stories.
But it was really hard for you guys because sometimes people would not want to lose. You guys were so sensitive to people's individual situation.
Absolutely. I mean, you used to get some people coming in crying, begging, angry, irate, threatening. I'm going to get my attorney. And we're like, okay, give them a copy of your contract. Here it is. The other thing is,
I could also come and sell you something.
Yes, outright.
Point blank.
Outright.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because most of the shows I've seen, the guy just says, look, I want $2,000 and I'm gone.
Right.
Okay.
That can happen too. That's actually better. Kind of cut your losses in advance because ultimately, if you're going to get the item back, you will have paid interest. Sometimes we've had people who have paid interest for 10, 15 years.
Was that your ring? That was the cash register.
Yeah, somebody just made a sale. Did you just make a sale?
Yes, I did.
Yay.
I'm sitting here earning dollars.
First of all, my wife runs an eBay business, and I hear that all day long.
Yeah.
And
That's
she
probably
goes,
my eBay account.
Yeah,
It's my eBay account. It's either that or you are going to hear Chris Isaac singing. That means someone's calling. Chris in the cash register. I'm good to go.
I love
on
that.
the screen was rookie mistake, but that's okay. But every time the phone goes off.
Oh, oops.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, because a lot of people ask me all the time, like, what was your favorite thing that came on the show? Tell me what yours was. I know mine, but what was your favorite item that we ended up doing,
Favorite item
on the show? Or off the show?
I would say potentially the Liz Taylor gold and bejeweled masquerade mask.
Oh.
Because it came from her, because it's such an unusual curio, because you don't have to just wear it or use it, you can display it. That kind of just for whatever reason is jumping out at me right now.
You had a lot of her items. I feel like you had
Yeah.
like some canary yellow diamonds, or you had a lot of
A lot of Liz's things.
A lot
I
of
have
Liz's
something
things.
here today from her collection. It's her design. She didn't own it, but this ring is a Liz Taylor design.
We're going to go through some of these
Yeah.
gems on here, so,
So yeah,
I
I'm
can't
fine.
wait.
I have her wig.
Cory, what was
Do
your
you?
favorite?
Well, one of my favorites was there were lighters so we did a couple shows on items that Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio had signed together.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them was a baseball,
Right.
and the other ones were the gold and silver lighters that were given at the civil ceremony in San Francisco, and they had both of their signatures on them. And honestly, these lighters were not real gold and silver. They were just kind of,
Like a lot of her
costume.
stuff. A lot of her stuff was costume.
Right, but they were $30,000 a piece because they had both signatures on it, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, and back then everyone smoked, so now you give away Jordan almonds or chocolate kisses, but
Right.
back then it was lighters,
Right.
And
And
so I found it fascinating.
And sentimental. It probably strikes to your sentimental
Yeah.
side that was a beautiful time when she found true love in that moment.
Well, and I didn't know, a lot of the things that we would get, I'd end up, learning the story, and I didn't know, and I found out on the show that, he basically sent her flowers for 20 years, once a
To her
week to her
grave.
grave, even though they weren't together, and like that.
Right in Westwood, right
Okay,
in
so
Westwood.
both of those items are girl items. You know, my favorite one I ever saw on that show?
Wait, how's a lighter a girl item?
Because it was romantic and you got to the wedding.
okay.
It's a guy. I'm just
Okay.
making this up right now.
Okay.
They had the original captain's chair from Star Trek, the original
Yes.
series.
Oh, yes, you did that
The one
story.
Shatner was in.
Yes.
I remember that one, yeah.
Are you a
But-
Trekkie?
I'm not a Trekkie. I've watched the show. I watch all the iterations of the show, but I
Yeah.
don't go to the conventions or have any memorabilia.
Sure.
But I would have bought that. I'd have bought that, put it in my den, and just watch TV all day long on it.
That'd be
But
cool.
that was at somebody's house, right, or something?
Yes, it was. We got to do a lot of away shoots, which was fun. And like I said, I found myself in Zsa Zsa Gabor's living room with Elvis's piano, and I was like, I watched her show. Her house was beautiful, and it was just.
Do you want a Zsa Zsa story?
Yes.
Really short and sweet.
Yes.
I went to her Christmas party before she passed, and they had actual snow in the backyard that they had brought in on that 80-degree night, whatever it was. And she was unfortunately upstairs in bed. Never saw her, but I have a picture of me in front of one of her portraits, and I love this photo of her, this portrait. It's just beautiful.
Can you send that to us, and we'll superimpose it on the show?
Yeah, sure.
We'll put it on the show because that's
Sure.
everybody. That's great.
Yeah,
That's a
I have
great
one with a
story.
few slippers. I have one of a Liz Taylor painting and that one because I'm trying to channel their look. You know
love
that whatever they're doing. So that's a
I
thing.
love it.
But yeah, I never had snow outside, and there she was in bed. I think she'd already been missing part of her leg, and she couldn't partake. And it was like,
Yeah, I know.
It's hard.
Yeah,
2 sisters or 3 sisters? Ava, Zsa Zsa.
3.
I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Did
Ava,
the third
Zsa
one
Zsa.
do anything?
I think not. She was the homely of the most gorgeous
Homely of the
women
yeah,
ever.
the third most beautiful woman
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah, I'd like, oh my gosh, I feel terrible. It'll come to me.
Well, you have one of her items here today, and you have a website, an online business that's really killing it. She's doing so well, and then the site is beautiful, and it's very easy to navigate, which I love.
Oh, good.
You
That's so
showcase
good.
the items, and the price is right there, and it's all amazing.
Do you know I did that all by myself? I'm not
Put
kidding.
together the site.
Yeah. And I'm going to where's your camera? I don't even know.
You have
Your-
3.
your
There's one
camera's right
there,
there.
one there, and one there.
Okay. Anybody who wants to build a website, and I'm not plugging for GoDaddy, but I guess I am.
No, they're great.
They
They'll help
made
you.
it so easy. I mean, you could do it yourself without calling them, and then if you need to call them, they actually pick up the phone.
Wow, GoDaddy, if you're listening.
Pay the lady because it's a great site. And I was
Yeah.
able to and I kept saying, I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm not techie. I'm going to do it.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You move mountains, Dominique. Like,
Well, I
come
had
on,
that pond system down. You couldn't
You're
mess with me with the pond
UCLA,
system.
You're a Bruin.
I'm a Bruin.
You're a Bruin. Well, let's go through some of these items
Okay, sure.
because let's go through all of them.
Okay, whatever you want.
Well, first of all, let me just preface this by saying, like, when I first came on the show, I really didn't get excited about jewelry. I'm not a jewelry person. I like certain pieces.
Yeah, I always associate you with those.
I like the delicate. Yossi and I got into a knockdown drag out with the producers, not physical, but over what necklace I was going to wear. He wanted me to wear a big, diamond big thing, and I'm not. I like the subtle, very simple pieces.
It was larger than her whole body.
It was larger than my whole body. And Dominique, God bless her, she
We
heard
call
the
that gaudy.
Yes.
Yeah. But it works on some people. It's beautiful. But Dominique overheard, and she ran in some drawer or vault or somewhere and came out with the most beautiful, elegant, and I loved it. It was
Yes.
perfect. Necklace that I wore on the show.
That was a diamond tennis necklace, and I can't begin to tell you how many
What's
people
a tennis
called.
necklace?
Goes all the way around.
Okay, like a tennis bracelet.
Yes.
Like tennis bracelet, and women were
But you're
known
not
in the
supposed
70s.
to wear bracelets when you play tennis.
And they did in the 70s.
But
People called and they would say, where's the Cory necklace? Can we have the Cory necklace? I love that necklace. They loved it.
well, maybe we can make one for Sexy Metals, and they can get one on.
that's a good
We'll do
We
the
call
Cory
it the
necklace.
Cory necklace.
It's a great idea. We could do it in different
You
gemstones.
get
It doesn't have to be
3% of
diamond.
every sale. I get 15, and then she gets the rest.
Well, I'm not. Jewelry isn't my thing. I do like a nice piece.
Yeah.
Like I could pick the pieces out here that I would love and wear, like the
I'm trying
simple,
to think if I were
elegant.
to put you in something, what would I put you in?
Right, but it is. I do love it. I have good pieces that are nice and elegant,
And you wear jewelry well.
I do wear it. Thank you.
You do.
Thank
You always
you.
have. And I associate you with jewelry because every time I see you, I feel like you have, who's that designer? Is Ani or something with the bangles with the tags hanging? You were wearing those back then.
Right. And I think what I lost my point. What I love about these pieces and what I loved about and eventually doing the show was the memorabilia.
Oh,
the pieces
yeah.
that have a story. It doesn't even have to be a celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the story behind the piece.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go through some of these pieces that you brought today because I want to showcase them. They're amazing.
Okay,
Let's start
sure.
with this one.
Okay, now keep in mind, we're a podcast.
We're a
we
podcast,
do have video, but we're a podcast, so, describe them
So
very
while
well.
I'm
And-
talking to you guys,
You can look underneath. I was making little notes last night doing my homework.
Okay, so this is an 18 karat.
White gold. I
White
probably
gold.
put WG.
Yeah, white gold heart ring, which is absolutely beautiful.
And that's a curb link, which everybody's into right now. That pattern of that shape of the band. Everybody wants the
Look how-
bracelet.
Look at that.
That's gorgeous. Everybody in the podcast can see it in their mind.
I mean, you can't see it on the podcast, but it's just so beautiful.
you can see it
It's
at
a heart, and it fits me
sexy-metals.com.
perfect. You can see it at Sexy Metals. Yes.
Now, the best part about that, the price.
It's only $850.
You can't.
Oh,
you,
my God.
Yeah. You walk into a store, you're going to probably pay at least
Triple,
Yeah.
or- yeah.
I'm saying
Oh my
double.
gosh.
I think it's half to what I read on
Yeah,
there.
0.50 carats.
And is it
That's-
a wedding ring or?
No, it's a right hand ring. It's a
But you could wear it as a
She
wedding ring.
immediately
You
put it
love
on her wedding
heart.
finger. That's why I asked.
Well,
It's
this would
because my only finger. This one's too fat.
this would be more likely, but this is also a very small finger size. This is a Tiffany. You kind of migrated to that earlier.
Because it's simple and elegant.
It's simple and elegant, and it's
And-
classic Tiffany.
And that's a Tiffany ring, which is 1600 for a Tiffany.
Right? And it's platinum and diamond.
That could be a pinky
Watch
ring.
out, Bob. Bob's looking.
No, I was going to say, you had a pair of earrings that I can get for, I don't know, $30, $40, $35.
Oh, stop. Don't even.
For $100, which is still a deal. See, we have these in white gold too.
kidding?
I have them in white. I brought them with me. I just didn't put them out.
These are beautiful.
Looking
They're
at a very
really
nice
beautiful.
pair of earrings.
I might bet that. I
Worth
might buy
$100.
these.
They're we call them mini hoops, micro
I'm
hoops.
buying these today.
You might want to try them in
Reading my
white.
arena? That's nice.
No, white? No, I wear gold.
Are you wearing gold?
Yeah, this is all gold.
You are, but I thought you normally were white.
I used to. I've switched. Dominique, it's been a while.
She always has to be in white and with a white background and white light and everything. That's what you heard.
That's the Lord. Okay, and these are...
Okay, these are actually both closeout specials. So if you read about the flower necklace, that I have like maybe half a dozen of those left. I had dozens of them. They flew
It's gorgeous.
out.
Is it a necklace and earrings?
They're separate.
But that looks like the flower necklace is 0.70. It's almost a carat diamond.
Yeah.
You have to describe it.
It's a flower. It looks like it's a flower necklace, just a pendant.
It channels
single pendant.
It channels Van Cleef and Arpels a little bit in the style.
It does.
And it can be worn at different lengths. It can be worn at 16 or 18 inches. It's got the different stations to do that.
It's a 14 carat. And it is $650. You're kidding.
I'm telling you, Corey, what we need to be doing is we need to be doing Home Shopping Club. We need to be going like, look how it sparkles.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah, you
it
see
is.
the numbers run up 300, 400,
Yeah.
500, start running.
But I'm telling you, because I even at a store, that would be triple or if not quadruple.
Exactly. So
because of
I'm
the metal.
working my hiney off finding these deals. So what I do is I find these guys who manufacture. Then they have too much or styles change, and then they liquidate it to some other guy. And then that guy sells it for 30, 40 off. Okay, he does that. Then he gets bored. He has a few pieces left. He doesn't want them anymore. And that's when I get them. So I come in and I get them so far below the original retail that I can just flip it. I put a small profit margin on and I just want to move volume. I'm not looking to
that's
kill
smart.
on every piece.
Volume is key.
It's key.
It is key. Now, the other thing that's on here,
I lose money on every item I sell. I make it up in volume.
if you could, well, I'm serious. Here's another thing. It's 14 karat cluster studs, 700. It's 0.70 carats. That's not,
And they have, they're illusion, so they look like
a
they're
single solitary
single-
diamond. Okay, guys out there, if you're listening, you should go to this site and check out some of this jewelry. These are great deals. We should put a promo code and give them a percentage off. Not trying to like.
Yeah.
Cory 10.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Cory
it.
10.
I like
Cory
that.
10.
Do whatever you want. This is your site. I don't want to tell you. I mean,
Super great idea. I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh,
Done.
So
I like
do
it.
it. You heard it here,
Oh,
guys.
we have another sponsor.
Cory 10 for sexy metals.
Give me a chance to figure it out. I got to go home, lay on my comforter. It'll be around midnight.
Yeah.
I'll be clicking around, and I'll figure it out while Rick and Morty's playing.
Yes.
And then it'll happen.
And
This episode won't air for another week. You got a week.
Oh, okay, good. I got time.
yeah, no. So the promo code is Cory 10
Okay.
for sexy
And
metals.
well, you heard before the show, we did a promo, the whole promo for your jewelry business as a commercial. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, and here's another item.
That's
I know
funsy.
you guys can't see it. 18 karat. It's 0.70. It's a cage ring.
Cage. It's a cage. That's a style. Having the
that's-
bands with some action going on in the middle.
That's beautiful.
Right, isn't that pretty?
It's different and unique.
And that also looks like a solitaire. Mm-hmm. Now that's brand new. So some people who we were talking about earlier, they don't want someone else's energy. Mm-hmm. That's a new piece. Something like this, Van Cleef and Arpels, that's a vintage piece. So that's going to have potential other energy on it. Mm-hmm. But I know people that will boil it in salt or sprinkle it in vinegar. They have their different things
And what's
that
the
they
story
do.
behind
Okay,
this
so
piece?
every time you sell a piece, can
Yeah.
we pay you to dehex it or
Probably Cory has more pull than I have. But
I
de-
just
depossess?
try.
Where they possess the jewelry, depossess it or whatever.
Yeah, sure, why not? We could purge it.
Evil spirit it.
Well, this is actually beautiful. This chain link. This is a pretty
This-
chain link. I don't
This
know
is
what
hard to
would
get.
call- Yeah,
That's malachite is the stone, but the style is called Alhambra.
and this is an original Van Cleef.
Original Van Cleef.
Okay.
Very difficult to get. That's very popular. They sell out very quickly. And
How did you get
different
it?
stones. I got it off a
I
very
know a
well-to-do
She knows
Newport
she knows a guy.
socialite. Yeah, know a guy who knows a
She
guy.
knows a girl. Yeah.
I want to see this.
I have a
The
we all
Liz
have guys.
Taylor or the butterflies?
Now this reminds me of Mariah Carey.
It does.
She
Except
loves
she's-
butterflies. I don't know if you can see that.
that
but
would be a toe
that's-
ring for Mariah.
Point it up to the podcaster so they can see. and hear what
Okay,
it
I
is.
just want to point out really quickly. I know that, but this is a beautiful ring, and it's 18 karat gold. Mm-hmm. It's 1.5.
1.5 carats.
Yes,
of
1.5
diamonds.
carats.
Let me guess. Let me guess.
Oh, wait, and yellow sapphires in the middle.
Oh, $2,200.
Well, that's a low end. This is 1,200.
You should buy it and put it on eBay.
This is
You
what
should
I'm
do.
saying. You could mark. I mean,
I'd
these
spend
are
$2,500.
I almost had a sale.
so beautiful.
I want to hear a cha-ching in the room.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I'm going downstairs talk to my wife. I hear cha-chings all day long.
These are great. What does your wife sell?
High-end bags, clothing, all the way down to $12 Christmas ornaments. So she has a wide variety.
I should talk to her because I just had an estate where I sold a bunch of Chanel and Louis Vuitton and Gucci
Yeah,
bags.
she has all that stuff too. Yeah.
Yes.
These are 14
Before we
karat.
leave, I'll take you through the house, and 5 of the rooms are all eBay storage rooms.
Oh, I'd love to see that. Wow.
So these are 14 karat diamond by the yard. Are these Tiffany's?
No, but they're in the style of.
They are in the style of Tiffany's, and these are literally.
Hold on. Let me see. What? You sell it, I'll price it. Go ahead.
I like this game. This
They're
is a fun
diamond
game.
by the yard, and there's
What does
1,
by the
2,
yard mean?
3, 4. There's 4 diamonds on each earring.
By the yard means as it goes?
Yeah.
So they would be on a big spool and then pull the chain and
okay,
cut if you're
okay,
making a necklace
I
or
got
a
you. Okay. So diamond by the yard, how many carats?
0.35.
Yes.
I don't know where I got that from.
$850.
No, they're $650.
Oh, okay.
And
That's a great
850 is really low.
That is
Is it
by the
really?
way.
On the
low.
He's playing the game now because he's learning how the game works.
Yeah.
No.
You would have said like 1400.
I would have said 3,000.
Okay, so I
great
wondered
one.
how these.
I'll tell you what, I'll guess what it would be in the jewelry store in the mall.
I'll do you one better. I'll tell you what it would be in the jewelry shop because this is designer. This is
Oh, then I get to say what you sell it for?
yeah.
Okay. $8 million.
So I actually saw these online, and I wondered how they looked like in person because I was like, "Those are gorgeous,"
What are
and now I see, and they're just as beautiful, if not more beautiful in
Do
person.
you recognize the designer?
No,
And for the third time, what are they?
they're 8. Excuse me.
No,
18.
what are they?
Earrings.
They're earrings.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
I'm
the people
sorry.
listening don't know. I'm in the room. I get to know these things.
Do you slap them often
Do you know?
or just
Do
sometimes?
you know who you sound like right now?
Your father?
Angry Bird.
Angry Bird.
Angry Bird.
Now I know why you guys have this distance. It's not
Yes,
just
yeah,
COVID,
it's not
just
COVID.
so she can't reach you.
I'm out of reach. Yep. Out of the striking zone.
He'll get a spiritual spanking in a minute.
Oh, I like that. That's interesting.
So they're 18 karat gold earrings.
Mm-hmm.
Spike studs are, I don't know what that means.
So that's the most important part. It's Anita Co.
Anita
It's
Co.
a designer, and you
It's
can go
pronounced Anita Company.
Anita Co.
They're beautiful.
Anita Visa.
Yeah,
Anita
yeah,
American
yeah.
Express.
So they're only.
All right, so what do they sell
$850.
for in the mall?
If you go the mall,
Whatever.
excuse me, in the boutique,
In the boutique.
they
okay.
sell for $2,000.
All right, so in Jewelry Mart, they're probably about they sell them for $650.
Oh, that's so not fair. This is a designer. You cannot get it that percentage off.
He has no idea.
He has
what
no
he's talking
idea.
about. They're $850.
I was going to say 800. Okay.
He's trying to guess what I paid.
Which they'll probably go, like I said, 2-3 times more. But let's look at this big
All right, I
shiny
got this game
object
now.
right
Hold on.
here.
You totally got this game now.
Look at this shiny object.
And
This is. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, really.
This is a 2
These deals are so good.
carat-
I got to drink some. Getting hot, and I got to drink some water.
This is a 2 carat. Look how beautiful that is. Can you see that?
That's the nastiest
Yeah,
I've
just
ever
making sure you
seen
got the
you.
right finger
Yeah,
up,
I
but go
know.
ahead,
She
yeah.
almost.
It's the you're holding up the ring finger, but it looks awfully close to the
Oh,
other
no,
finger.
no.
No, he
no,
doesn't.
no.
I
I was
know,
just
I know.
going like this.
Illusion.
I was going that. Okay, no.
I know.
But it's beautiful, and it's. I can't believe
carat,
this
but
is
it's
this price.
2 carats of a bunch. It's not 1 2-carat diamond. It's a bunch
Oh,
of
now
diamonds,
look at him
right?
dissing.
But it
I'm not
actually.
dissing. I'm trying to explain to the people who are listening.
It's a cluster
Cluster
floral
diamonds, okay.
design. It's a yesterday, today, tomorrow. 3 sections.
So you can wear it. Yes.
Are you sure it's not more than 2 carats?
That's probably a mistake.
So it's probably like 6 or 7 carats.
Because each diamond is really pretty big on this one.
Yeah, you're
Okay, so in the
you're
boutique.
possibly right. It was late at night when I was pricing this stuff. Who knows?
It
I
might
was
be
high
more.
on chocolate.
In the
must-
boutique, it's how much?
I love her. Oh, look how pretty! It's 2,200.
You don't know this game at all.
Oh,
do you?
sorry.
I'm on
All right,
shiny objects.
let's give you a good one.
Dominique's going to say how much it costs in a boutique, and I'm going to say how much Dominique is selling it
But
for.
look at this.
Beautiful.
So 22 for you. How much in the boutique?
Oh, 45.
45. Okay.
Yeah, I
Oh,
would say.
at the very least.
Right.
Yes.
How about
That's beautiful.
diamond cross with 1 carat of diamonds?
Now, how many carats make up a 1-carat diamond?
100.
No, that's the weight. I mean, how many diamonds are in that cross? To make
Oh,
up
I
one?
see what you mean. I don't know. I didn't count them.
But there's more than like 6 or 7, right? So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really, really reasonable.
Right?
So
Yes.
in the boutique,
It's an 18-inch chain. It's 14 carats, and it's an H VSI.
So clean. H
Wow.
color super
Yeah.
high, VS super clean. You know your
Yeah.
diamonds. You
I
bought
know
2.
clear color carats.
Bought
Color carats, clarity.
Nothing
Well,
inside.
He just didn't even acknowledge
No,
it.
I know.
Well, too, 25 years, 27 years,
It's 1,200.
It's backwards though.
Oh, sorry.
2100.
I just said 12.
She said it was backwards.
Oh, you're fast on your feet.
He is fast on his feet. He's a little too fast for us.
Wow.
Okay.
Right?
I don't want to break this.
No, that's
okay.
okay.
Get it all.
And for
That's
guys,
beautiful.
for
Yeah.
guys on the cord, that can go guys or gals, the other cross.
Wow.
Right? And that's a pretty one too.
Wow, that is beautiful.
That kind of
And how much is that one? That one is okay. That's 14 carat. Diamond by the yard, 18. Oh, that's this one right here.
Right.
That's a 0.50 carat, 700. That's really good.
the diamonds by the yard, yeah.
Wow.
Which you saw in the earring before. That's the same
And the other one's
concept.
14 karat, the cross. That's 1,500.
Right?
My goodness.
I know.
Okay, sexy-metals. Is it dash or slash?
Dash.
Sexy-metals.com.
You said slash, but you made a dash.
You guys have to just take a trip there because Dominique is doing a
And by the
special
way,
promo
Sexy
today.
Dash Metals has been on the screen throughout this entire.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Bob's really
I
good
so
about that.
appreciate that. I truly do.
Wow, these are
Well,
beautiful.
you got to earn your 12%.
Well, now, what is this interesting piece? This looks vintage.
It does look vintage. It's Jennifer Fisher is the designer, and she does vintage style with really unusual gemstones.
See, now, this is like a beautiful piece. 18 karat.
She's gonna flip with the price.
I can't believe it.
I know.
I can't believe anything 18 karat. It's
Home
literally-
Shopping Club, where are you? Corey and I need to be
I think
here
we
with
should
the.
go on.
Yeah,
you
no,
want
no,
to?
Home shopping, don't you need a lot of the same thing?
Yeah, we'll just get it produced. She knows how to.
I got peeps.
Let's
Like
do
I
it.
said,
So
I
you
know a
could
guy who
mass
knows
produce
about
that
it.
if you had to?
Well, not hers because that's a specific designer.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should do this. Okay, we're going to talk after this. But this was really beautiful, this
Right?
chain. It's like
Delicate.
an interesting,
There's a pattern to it,
but
it's
it
very
almost
subtle.
looks like there's beads in between it.
Exactly. It's got a
Wow.
really
And it's literally only $450.
That's very cheap.
right.
Very inexpensive, I should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheap and
You know,
cheerful, as we say.
You know my story about QVC?
No, let's hear it.
My first wife used to watch that show all day long.
I'm so sorry.
And yeah, I know. And well, two stories. Well, she would buy the Joan Rivers collection. She'd buy all that jewelry and stuff.
Joan, yeah.
And then we moved to Philadelphia for 6 months, which was like it's the whole shipping's out of Lancaster, which is really close to. So she would hang up the phone. Like 10 minutes later, they'd be at the door with the ring. One day I get home and there's a box about 4 feet by 3 feet by 2. I'm like, what the heck is it? Oh, it's a jewelry box. The jewelry box stood 5 feet tall.
Oh.
By like 2 feet wide by 2
Oh,
feet.
for
You open it
display.
for everything she had.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
goodness.
But the real story is I come home one day and she's sitting on the couch watching something and this girl's like, oh, I'm in my basement. I saw this piece of scrap metal and I turned it into a cookie cutter, 1995. And there's like 3,000 sold, 4,000. And I look at her, I go, you're home all day. You can't come up with something like that. We could be a fortune. I say, go, this is Pennsylvania, go to the basement, find some scrap metal, and make something we can sell. God, so he just sold $4,000 items of a scrap piece of metal.
Do you
But,
believe it,
no,
though?
They sold everything so fast.
Gosh.
I would be on the phone with my mom, and she'd say, hang on, the doorbell ring. I don't want my stepdad. Sorry, Rod. The door would ring nonstop. And then I'd even mention it. I'd be like, oh, I want to get a sewing machine. Then my doorbell would ring. If I'm like, QVC, I'd have a sewing machine.
It would just appear.
Yeah.
That's
we
really-
should, though. Let's talk to them.
I'm telling you.
So all of these pieces.
Yeah.
What is this over here?
That's Cartier, as is the little ring.
Now that one.
Okay, wait a minute. I have a story.
Okay.
Do you remember the bracelet that the person came in? It was a police officer, I believe, on the
charm
show.
bracelet.
The charm bracelet. They came in. They had no idea what they had.
Right.
Not one single clue.
Yeah.
And Dominique took it and she's like, she's got an eye. She's like, hey. And you went and you researched it, and the little charm on that bracelet was worth $25,000.
There was each charm was signed Cartier, and the bracelet itself was Cartier. But sometimes they put their signature on the charms in sort of obscure places, and you just have to. Well, you have to have your loop.
Right.
And, yeah, she was shocked.
She was so shocked.
She was shocked.
Yeah, she just came in like, hey, guys.
Yeah,
I
we
got
called her
this.
the Cartier cowgirl.
Now, I heard that they have a number in diamonds now, or it's some kind of.
Yes, you can have your diamond laser inscribed with your GIA certificate. So, because a lot of people have unfortunately experienced having diamonds switched out on them.
Okay.
So let's say they go somewhere and they want to reset their diamond, and 1 carat comes out and a different 1 carat goes in. But you can look and see and make sure that the number on the girdle is the same as you have on your paperwork.
And that doesn't affect the cut clarity or
No.
the lighting. That
No.
must be minute.
Yeah, actually, I don't even know if you can really see it with this loop.
Right.
It's really, really obscure.
Really obscure.
But it's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I've heard stories about that. And when we go down the jewelry mart, my aunt was very big at the jewelry mart, but she knew 2 or 3 jewelers that we would go to.
She trusted them.
Yes. But she said, yeah, be careful because they'll show you the diamond.
Yeah.
Then they take it up to go set, come back, and it's completely different.
Yeah, we've all seen Chris Angel and Houdini, and there's all kinds of things you can. That's why I say your relationship with your jeweler is like the one you have with your doctor.
Well, and you had
your
a
attorney.
great one, Luis. He was.
Oh yeah, I still work with Luis.
You do?
I do.
He is such a. You know, this
He was the guy in the back room that you kept going to?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he always had fruit for me
Oh,
from his tree.
oh
The
yeah,
baklava?
you
He had fruit. No, because he.
That was Robert, the
yeah.
security guard. He brought baklava.
Now tell me about this interesting Cartier piece. I don't really know what it's a horse. It's a unicorn.
It's a unicorn.
I
That's
just
why I
figured
brought
it
it
out
because
when I was
everybody's
like-
looking to be one or find one. All I hear about is unicorns, and I'm like, I have one. It's sterling and 18 karat.
Oh yeah, and how much is that?
That one is about 1,200. I didn't put a price
Wow.
tag
Well,
on
that's
it.
Cartier.
Because it's
I mean,
Cartier.
Cartier. And this is a Cartier ring.
That's a
I couldn't
Cartier.
even get this on my, like...
It's a pinky or a pendant running on a
Yeah,
chain.
and that's Cartier as well. Cartier, companies like Cartier, Rolex, those companies really hold their value.
You're
they're really
100% right.
well made, and they're
Yes.
the internal of my watch is really well made. I think it's
Of your Cartier?
yeah,
Yeah, it's really important to buy brand names and certain brand names when you're going to do watches.
right.
Rolex, IWC, Breguet, those are really good ones. Cartier too, people want it. But just like a car, sometimes when you buy it retail, the second you walk out of the store, it drops. So you have to, secondary market's a great place as long as you trust where you're getting it.
And which one of these items was Elizabeth Taylor's? You said, or
This didn't belong to her, but it was one of her designs, and it's signed inside, Liz Taylor collection, and it's pink sapphire and diamond. And chunky in her style. She wouldn't have worn something that was too dainty. She liked big pieces.
That's pretty, these older actresses, or not older, I'll say, well,
Yeah.
iconic actresses, were tiny.
I know.
Everything's
super
so tiny.
Do you remember the dress of hers?
Yes.
She had a 19-inch waist.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, do you remember when we had to literally dress up like Marilyn Monroe? All three of us had to put Marilyn Monroe wigs
Never
on.
saw it though.
By the way, that
I always wanted to see it.
that comment reminded me the most horrible thing happened to me last week.
Oh, we were so
I
positive.
went into Kohl's. This is like life-threatening, not life devastating. I went into Kohl's, bought a pair of pants. I'm now officially a 36 waist. I used to be 34. I used to be 32, and I just gave up. I said, "Darn it, I'll buy the 36," and they fit me perfectly.
Is it
It's
the
like-
COVID-19 or
I don't know what it is, but I'm like, oh my god, I'm dying.
But you know what? You can do something about it. You've got these beautiful hills out here. You can walk them. You can jog them.
Yeah, I'll stay at 36. Thanks.
Okay.
How have you seen? Not that I don't want to know about your waist side, but or your waist
That was it.
size.
That's the whole story. My life is over. I'm now 36.
How have you seen Beverly Hills change over the last 20 years, or 10 even? Your year, I should say.
The year's been awful.
Has it really?
The year has been awful. The crime rate has skyrocketed, something terrible. There's a lot of outdoor drug use. And it's very, apparent. And I do a lot of business there. So I, try to use extreme caution when I'm traveling. I don't.
Which is not a typical Beverly Hills moment.
Not at all.
I
mean, I
do you see it coming back?
no,
Really?
I don't.
Really?
I think times have changed. I think a lot of ships have sailed that are not coming back. And I wonder if that's just a product of age, because I remember my parents saying, we used to leave our doors open, and you say, that's crazy. I mean, when I was a kid, we could have, but we never would have. So maybe that's just what happens when you start to get older. Things do change like that, and it's normal, but it's a little devastating to me. I mean,
It's a little different than we used to drink out of the hose as kids, and now we drink bottled water. This
Right.
is, I don't want to call it an icon, but Rodeo Drive is a
Yes,
internationally known street
absolutely.
that,
Right.
forget it, it's gone. I
It's
mean,
gone.
some of the stores will hold on for the next 5 or 10 years, but eventually, and I always think it's funny because if you go to like other countries that have been around for 6,000 years, like in Israel, and you see that place, yeah, well, that was where Peter met Jesus, and they talked to whatever.
Yeah.
And what is it now? Oh, well, now it's a 7-Eleven. And it's like, everything
Yes.
changed, and you have to keep reusing everything. But yeah, it is.
we're not cautious enough of our history.
No.
That's a concern. I've been thinking for years they need to close Rodeo Drive, make it no vehicles, pedestrian only, kind of make it a little bit more like Europe. They tried to do that with the Rodeo 2 collection, that cobblestone area with Tiffany's in there.
Sure.
And it's beautiful. I almost think they should just extend it to the whole street.
You make it an outdoor mall. There's no
Yeah.
reason down in that area. There's no reason why people have to drive up Rodeo.
No, it's
And first of all,
unnecessary.
you can't get from one block to the next inside of 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, just close it down.
Unless it's a drag racing moment, and you'll see that.
Right.
Kids will drag race through there, and
But yeah, that's a good
that's
idea.
a
Close it
shame.
down, make it a
Close it
walkway.
down, make
Third Street. I mean, half of Third Street is you can't drive on.
No.
Well, I love that you're bringing Beverly Hills to an online presence because you really have captured, these are just some of your items that are amazing. I'm actually have another one in my hand.
I'm saying move the mic a little more out. Your hair is touching it. Just push the mic out for me. Yeah.
That's a lucky
There you
mic.
go. Yes.
I had to touch Cory's hair.
Dominique. She's so sweet. What is this beautiful gem of a piece?
That-
Look at that
okay.
chain.
We gotta bring Bob in on this.
With
Okay.
Is there diamonds in there?
It's diamonds. Okay. It's rose gold.
Oh,
And
rose gold.
it's
That's
rose
a
gold.
good
I'm trying to
side
remember
of
if it's
gold.
14 or 18. Oh, it's my little pad.
I didn't see a
lost
little
my.
thing on the bottom.
Okay. I don't know what I did with it. But the price is crazy. It's 800.
Let me guess. 800.
Oh,
I
she's
played the
playing
game.
the game.
I played
knew
the
it.
game so poorly just now.
I just heard that number in my head, and I just
But
said
hang
it.
on, you guys, because that's a lot of gold for 800.
It is.
I mean, the gold itself is worth more than 800.
and
on
I think
this.
it's about a half carat of diamonds in the
It's like
center.
a
And
bunch
then
melt
you've
it down
got
and sell it for 1,000.
You've got well, you probably could, to be honest, just because and the cut of the stone and stuff is just beautiful.
I like to think of myself as a dealer's dealer. Like you can buy from me and you can resell. You can enjoy it for a while, and then when
Right.
you're tired of it, let it go back into the universe and
I give you my resale
recirculate.
license, pay no tax. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
No, it's
That
great.
works.
I love that you started this because you really you know what you're doing. We're all
Thank you.
growling hungry over here. What's the deal? We
that
have
was
no
a dog.
snacks.
That
We have
was a
no. Tell me a little bit. We have 3 questions that we're going to ask you before we
Ooh.
wrap
But
up. But
first, a different game.
Oh gosh. Oh goody. Another word.
yes.
This is going to be
Uh-oh.
okay. This is because you're a very intelligent woman, I can tell, and we
Thank
always
you.
know Corey's very intelligent.
Thank you.
Every animal has a different, not a different name, but animals have specific
You get
names
everything
for their
right. I know it.
for their young, their female, their male, and their group.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So, and I'm going to do this multiple choice because some of these you would never ever get.
Don't get me started on a multiple choice.
Dominique, you're going to know everything.
Hold
Trust
on.
me. I know.
No, I just think it's a terrible way to learn.
Well, I'm not. You're just not learning.
Okay.
Okay. There's not, okay. This is the okay.
Okay.
So, for instance, an alligator.
Okay.
Is the newborn alligator A, hatchling, B, pup, C, calf, D, infant?
Hatchling.
I'm going to support her.
Yeah, it is hatchling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go, girl.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the female.
Okay.
Female alligator. Sal, Cal, Jenny, she-gator.
Hermes Birkin purse. That's my only answer.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Wait, say it again.
Sal, Cal, Jenny, or she-gator?
Sow.
I'm going to I don't remember if those are in Australia or not, but I feel like an Australian's going to go, it's a Jenny.
No, it's
Dang
a
it.
cow.
That was a really good explanation, though. I would have
Did
thought
you
the
like
same
that?
thing. Yeah,
I
that was
just kinda
very
went
good.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
A male alligator is either a stud, a buck, a king, or a bull.
Can I ixnay bull?
Sure.
I'm going to ixnay bull.
Yes, I'm gonna go with that.
When you say, she's saying ixnay.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking it out.
Yeah, that means take it out.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So
Yeah, what are
is
the
it
3
now?
remaining?
Stud, buck, king.
I'm going to ixnay buck.
I'm gonna go with buck.
Really?
You're both wrong because
I'm going to say king.
yeah, but if the female's a cow, the male's a bull.
I don't understand your language. Are you saying cow or
You will
cow?
never.
Cow.
Hold on, Dominique. You'll never
Cow.
understand
It's
this
a
language.
it's a Philadelphia cowl.
Dominique, this is not.
Cow, C-O-W. Cow.
Oh, cow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're going to go with bull?
So then, and finally, we're gonna do one more after this. But finally, the group of alligators.
Oh, my God. What is he obsessed with alligators today?
Well, we're doing the whole thing of alligators.
Okay.
Is it a herd,
No.
a congregation,
Maybe.
a family,
No.
or a wedge?
A wedge.
They're wedgy looking. Yeah, wedge.
Yeah, it's congregation.
Oh, dang it.
Okay. So,
But they're wedgy looking. They kind of wedge.
You should have been the actor in the room.
all right, do one more animal.
Okay.
These are cheetahs. So a newborn cheetah is either a pup, a foal, a cub, or a calf.
Cub.
What was the first one?
Pup.
Pup.
Nope, it's a cub.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah,
I should have
right.
stayed with you.
Now,
Okay.
the female of a cheetah is a queen, a vixen, a nanny, or a she-cheetah.
It's either nanny or vixen.
I just love the word queen. I'm going with queen.
Okay, queen. All 3 of you are wrong.
Oh, my God.
It's a
she
she?
cheetah.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
a
is
female
why you
cheetah
did
is a
this.
she cheetah.
A she-cheetah. Wow.
All right.
Rob loves to
And
do this.
The
He's
male,
loving this.
the male of a cheetah
Is a he cheetah.
is either a
He cheetah.
He cheated. I cheated on her big time.
well, okay, a male cheetah is either a cheetah, a stag, a jack, or a reynard.
A cheetah.
I'm going to go back with it's a jack because it's
No, it is a cheetah. Male cheetah.
Yeah,
is called a
because that's
cheetah.
where they get the word
Girl.
cheetah.
Yeah.
You a cheetah.
You she made it funny. I like it.
All right, and lastly,
I'm kidding.
a group of cheetah or cheetah
Oh, Lord.
is either a cloud, a troop, a coalition, or a den.
A group of what?
Cheetah.
Cheetah. I'm taking out den.
No, I think it's Den.
Really?
What do you think it is?
Save the 3 that I didn't pick?
Cloud, troop, coalition.
Troop.
Yeah, it's coalition.
Yeah. I love the way he says, yeah, and gives you
Yeah,
hope.
he does. That's
Like, I
exactly
knew
what he
I
does.
knew I had
Does
that
it to
right.
me all day long.
Oh, my gosh.
Dominique,
Yes.
Pinassi is in the
Yes.
house today. My co-star from Beverly Hills Pawn. You're amazing.
You are. I'm so proud of you for doing this. This is awesome.
Well, you know, we wanted to do something fun and
Great.
And my daughter moved out of her room. We needed to put it to good use.
happy and hopefully, and I say this and I'll continue to say this, bring some unity into the world. And, you know,
Through jewelry.
there are all kinds of different people, and we all have different beliefs, and we are all fighting the same fight, the good fight of, you know, trying to get along.
True.
And so we're trying to create an environment that, you know, people will love one another and
That's
have respect
lovely.
for one another.
That's a
And
lovely
maybe
doctrine.
disagree, maybe agree, but you know what? At the end of the day, we still are friends and still can, you know, coexist.
Everybody bleeds
The same blood, right? So, but today is about you because you are just amazing, and I love that you continue to push forward. And everybody should go out and get a copy of this book. It's Pignus: Tales from a Beverly Hills Pawn Shop, and that's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
And it's a really good read, and you'll get some good little
And for the,
stories in here.
for the people listening on podcasts, it's Pignus, Pignus.
Yes, it
Pignus.
is. Pignus,
Thank
yes.
you, guys. I
And-
really
Well, because
appreciate
I was
it.
looking up Pignus.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so-
Yeah, well, with your Philadelphia accent, you
That's-
probably heard it
I
here,
hear it,
too.
yeah. It's the way my accent here is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those of you who cannot see, I have a table here full of beautiful, sexy metals, jewelry, rings, necklaces, earrings, which
Yeah.
I just bought. I'm buying these. I'm taking these out.
You need to see the white gold.
I know, but I
But you're
literally
doing
wear
yellow.
this all the
Okay.
time. And visit Dominique's website, sexy-metals.com.
Metals with an S.
Yes,
Metals with an S.
METALS.
I figure people are searching
Yeah.
sex a little bit. They're searching metal, heavy metal music, heavy metal construction. They might find it by accident or on purpose because you just told them.
Well, it's a beautiful site. I will say this. I love the picture, the door,
That's from Greece.
Yeah,
That's from
it's
Santorini.
Beautiful.
Oh, good.
Your site's amazing, and you made it yourself. So,
did.
with the help of GoDaddy.
With the help of GoDaddy.
GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. So, we do a little game here.
Oh, no, I'm scared.
I have 3 questions for you.
Is it a
before we
cheetah
wrap
or a
up.
No.
pup or a alligator?
It's a she-cheetah.
It's a she-cheetah?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a hot flash.
Don't show.
It's
it's
all these
warm in
fun
here.
little. I
Do me
know.
a favor
I feel
before
like
you
I
do
just
this
said that.
to stop the mistake. You have them in your phone order.
I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry.
We
What
just
would I
do it
do
for
without
the-
you,
I
Bob?
don't know.
What's the subject?
Okay, so this is the ink blot test.
Oh, Rorschach?
Yeah.
For the first 12 episodes, you called it the Rorschach Test.
That's from Welcome Back, Cotter.
When I say this, I'm going to go back to the beginning of this interview that I said Dominique is very smart. She knew everything, and she does
No, I didn't know
everything.
what one cheetah was called to another alligator. I had
Before
I
we
will-
no
get
clue.
to that,
Yeah.
I actually got to the point on the show where I would be like, hang on, let me ask Dominique. Because you
Aw.
just wouldn't. You're so smart. I love you. But before you do get to that, I would
Yes.
like you to tell our listeners, just describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, wow. I would say positive, loving, and a little dark.
Oh, okay.
it's 4 words. But
That's 3.
With
little,
the
little
and?
dark.
Oh,
With what?
Little dark is
a
2
little
words.
dark. I should have come up with a better word.
No, there's got to be a darkini. Darkito.
Dark cow.
Well, I think probably that came up because we're thinking of Rorschach. Because I tend to go sometimes into the sadness of something.
Okay, well that's different than
That's
how
what
the
I
world
mean.
might
Say
perceive
noir.
dark. Yeah.
Yeah,
Noir.
okay, noir. Like I sometimes go too much to the sadness and I have to, like I cry at animated films when things happen to dogs.
Oh,
That's
there's
a little
nothing wrong
dark.
with that. That's not dark. I do the same thing. It's called
do?
it's called empathy, and it's
Okay.
a good thing to have.
Oh yeah, my son says I'm an empath. I
You
guess one of
are,
the day.
and that's actually a beautiful trait.
Okay.
So we're gonna scratch out dark, and you're an empath.
Empath. Okay,
That's
I
why
try
I
to-
wanted to get to the bottom because I don't see you as dark. You're
Okay,
very
I
much an
appreciate
empath.
that. Well, I
Yeah.
get on myself about it, and I'm like, no, you need to be positive. Stop thinking of the sadness of that moment.
There's actually nothing wrong with being an empath. It's a beautiful trait, and it's a wonderful quality. And,
Okay.
and that's a beautiful thing. That's what I love about you because you are.
Thank
and
you.
That's one of the things. I
I'll
love.
absorb that today.
Yes. Okay, we're heading into the Rorschach
Oh gosh.
test. So I'm going to hold this up and you just tell immediately what comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay.
2 women with big hairdos.
That's a good one. Okay.
Well, I kind of know this one. Uterus or butterfly. Sorry.
No, it's okay because all of them are going to look like that.
Oh, these are Tibetan dancers.
I love this.
Dragon. Picasso, like a
Yeah.
Picasso.
Ah,
yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that
good? Yes.
I like
Okay,
the test.
good. Is that good? Was that a good test? Better
Yeah,
than the
you
test?
did great. Are you kidding me? And it was like
We're gonna have a psychiatrist come in here and
Thank you. Evaluate
review
me.
everybody's
She's like
answers.
a
and maybe
clinical
evaluate.
psychologist.
Are you really?
Like,
I have a master's in clinical psychology. I just didn't,
yeah.
continue with
Well,
it.
then we'll have you come in and talk about everybody else's answers.
Yeah, why
Oh,
not?
get that guy some help quick.
I'll draw a license and hang it on the wall right now.
And the last question of
Yes.
the day is, and I know that I'm going to preface this because I know your husband is amazing, David.
Yes.
And you've been with him a very long time and you love him dearly and he loves you.
A dozen
There is
years.
No question.
It's a dozen.
However, some people have celebrity crushes.
What was
Oh.
in the God? What
What?
was in hold on before you the blip. In you know what the blip is, right? In the Avengers, the guy snaps his fingers and half the world just disappears.
Oh, okay.
Right. It's called
Okay.
the blip.
The
They
blip.
get back 5 years later, but the blip happens. You're no longer married.
Oh, I thought I could blip a lot of people. I'm like, oh yeah, I could
Yeah.
blip a lot of people.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Okay, but I
No,
wouldn't blip
everybody
him.
has a celebrity crush. Like, who's your celebrity crush?
It used to be Bradley Cooper, but I have fired him.
Oh.
Because of something he did?
The beard in Stars Born. What was it? Is that called?
Oh, see, now that is when I hired him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Prior to that, but you grow a beard and get all gnarly
Yeah,
and
this-
dirty, I'm good.
No, I had to go. Chris Isaac.
Oh.
Chris Isaac.
So the Bradley Cooper one is he was married or dating somebody from, I think, Russia?
Yeah, see
Well,
that
you
whole
could-
thing about the younger, gorgeous model
Well-
was to make me jealous, and
Yes,
that's
I-
that's what David says. Yeah.
So he was married to her, and everybody in Russia was like, hey, we got Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And then he left her for Lady Gaga. There were signs in Russia, we want Bradley back, we want Bradley back. Like, all of Russia was upset that he
that's
left a Russian
funny.
woman, I think it was Russia, for
Yeah.
Lady Gaga. But
Wait, was that really a relationship? Are we saying that was a relationship?
the Lady Gaga one?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
You
You heard it here.
I'm taking the fifth. Those are great. That's a good one. But we also need a code word for the
Oh, the
the
dress.
dress. So I'm going to leave it up to you to give a code word for the Beverly Hills Pawn dress that I'm giving away. If you type the code word that Dominique says in the bottom of the comments, we will enter all of those names into a hat.
Well, it doesn't have to be the bottom of the comments, just anywhere in the comments.
Anywhere in the comments.
I know.
Okay.
How many letters can it be?
Any?
Just something that people will remember and be able to spell.
What I associate with you when I see it and I hear it, pray big.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so
Pray
great.
big.
I love that. That's the code word. Pray big.
Pray big.
Type
Code
pray big
phrase.
in, and we'll enter you into the drawing for the dress.
And
You'll
now I
get this
can't-
actual dress.
Yes.
I can't be in the drawing now because I know the code word.
It can't be in the drawing now, but
Well,
you're
guests
in
of the
the.
show are not eligible to win. But you can
Oh,
have all
okay.
your
There's-
friends do it.
Is that what I signed when I got? Okay.
That
Speaking
was
of
you signed away your car in your house.
Oh, good. You can. Good.
Speaking of code words, once again, I'll just say this really quickly: is that Dominique was kind enough and generous enough to we'll do a promo code Cory10 for Sexy Metal. She's going to set that up,
Yes.
and there will be some kind of a discount.
120%.
I don't know what it'll be, but
Bob's buying.
But I encourage you to visit this site. There's a lot of gems on this site,
Thank you
and
so much.
you've just done an amazing job. And it's so wonderful to see you today.
Back at you.
You look beautiful.
You do too.
I miss you.
I miss you too, and I'm glad we
And-
got to do this.
Yeah, me
Wonderful.
too. We'll do it again.
Thank you, and I really super appreciate the drive you put in the past that I didn't realize.
Now that you've had to do it.
Now that I've had to do it, wow,
2 hours.
wow.
I know, but COVID, it's not so bad. So.
Yeah.
So thanks for driving out.
Thank you for
I
having
love
me.
you.
I love you too.
And we're out.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver, and thank you for watching the Coriolis Effect. We hope you enjoyed the previous episode. Here are some more episodes you might enjoy. Hit the subscribe button below, and have a great day.